Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. on February 27th. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Damien Alvarado.
And I'm Brinkley Hill. We're taking a foggy look out at Grants Pass right now from the Tap Rock Northwest Grill. Let's check in with Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress to see what we can expect for the rest of our Thursday.
Yeah, well, just like yesterday in Grants Pass, waking up with some areas of fog this morning, and even as we're heading towards Cave Junction. But around the rest of the region, we're dealing with clear skies and a chilly start to the morning. Let's check in with that visibility, though, for Grants Pass. For about a quarter of a mile at times. It's kind of bouncing back and forth between no visibility to about a quarter of a mile, but that'll improve as we're heading throughout the morning, just like it did yesterday. So joining the rest of the region with those clear skies, we'll have some of those high level clouds passing through again today, but we're going to try to make it up to about 69 degrees today in the Rogue Valley. But it'll cool off again as we head into overnight tomorrow, and we can expect to see some areas of fog likely again, repeating that pattern for Friday. Before today, around the rest of the region, those high temperatures: 56 for Klamath Falls, 64 for Wairika, along the coast 65 for Brookings. So as we head into tomorrow, it will be rather nice. We're going to try for even warmer for your Friday, the warmest day of the week. Saturday is going to continue to be a bit more mild. Temperatures will drop a bit, but we can expect the chance for showers late into the day. So I'll talk about what you can expect for your weekend plans through the end of the week coming up in our next forecast.
If you're waking up in Siskiyou County this morning, emergency services say you should avoid swimming in fast-moving water and never drive through flooded roads. Recent rain and melting snow can create dangerous water conditions like stronger currents, colder temperatures, and more debris in the water. You might even be seeing some higher water levels, but even on land, the ground can be saturated and slippery, or low-lying trails and riverbeds can be flooded.
As the Rogue Valley continues to grow, the city of Medford recognizes that economic growth brings increased congestion. The Medford Transportation Commission looked into the feedback and updated plans for the South Stage Road Extension Plan. The city of Medford saw the public needed to see an ease in congestion, improve traffic safety, and support the rapid growth in the area. The two alternatives will include the option for future interchanges, with plans carefully balancing environmental concerns, including impacts to Bear Creek and surrounding wetlands.
South Medford interchange is currently broken and we need relief from it, and this project helps accomplish that. So there was a lot of consensus about the need to do something, but these two were kind of clear winners as we went through that process.
The project remains on hold as they wait for funding. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates on the interchange, both on air and online, as we find out more. Now, more than one month into President Trump's second term, historic shifts in policy have already been made, especially in the world of immigration.
NewsWatch 12's Rocky Walker spoke with local immigration attorneys to see the changes here in Southern Oregon.
The previous month had been any indication of what we have ahead of us. It's just going to mean that we have to continue doing what we do.
Uncertainty. That's what many in immigration law are currently facing. Saying the traditional systems and practices in the immigration pathway have changed, putting communities at risk.
These immigrants are folks who own businesses. They're in college, they're teachers, they're professors. A lot of the statuses that were established and have been established for a long time are at risk now.
With the changes, many would be fearful, causing some to not participate altogether. But they say,
as flawed as our systems are, we want people to participate in them.
They say an influx in consults and calls have come in, changing their roles from just representation to an information source, convincing callers to follow proper channels to keep themselves protected.
We have to just continue living without fear, and it's our families, it's our clients' families, it's our community, and it's our job to protect it.
They say while many changes are happening, living your life despite them is still key.
It's really important for folks to continue their daily lives with a plan in place.
A plan includes having all of yours and your children's documents, having a safe space for your family in case of deportation of some members, and knowing your rights. Reporting in Medford, I'm Rocky Walker.
Some of Oregon's farmers, ranchers, and rural communities are expressing concerns about finishing infrastructure projects. Senator Jeff Merkley is addressing these issues to U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins. Our news team continues to speak to federal workers within the state that have been fired in the past 2 weeks. According to the Oregon Federal Executive Board, more than 40,000 federal employees work in Oregon and Southwest Washington. Roughly 2,000 jobs have been slashed from the USDA.
Seeing huge chaos over at Bonneville, which manages the incredibly complicated set of some, I think, 36 dams. We've seen lots of scientists fired randomly from our research stations for agriculture.
Merkley says these layoffs have disrupted vital research partnerships for soil health, wildfire smoke exposure, and pest management. Senators Merkley and Wyden urging Secretary Rollins to immediately release all frozen funds and to restore fired workers to their positions. House Republicans are demanding accountability from Oregon Department of Transportation. The representatives say the agency has failed to complete previously funded projects. An audit shows issues with how funding is being tracked. A $5.3 billion transportation package was passed in 2017 to fund major road projects. But House Republicans say that now 8 years later, those projects are either delayed or unfinished, while costs have soared. A state January audit reveals ODOT overestimated its revenue by $1.1 billion. House Republicans say they're calling in for accountability and transparency before allocating any more tax dollars to the agency.
The House Republican budget passed calls for massive cuts in health coverage and food assistance. The budget asks lawmakers to cut $4.5 trillion in taxes and at least $1.5 trillion in spending. Trump says Medicaid cuts are off the table, but this bill may not follow his campaign promise. The budget resolution would require the Energy and Commerce Committee to cut at least $880 billion and the Agriculture Committee to cut at least $230 billion. These reductions would force congressional committees to make cuts in Medicaid and SNAP benefits. There will be weeks of committee hearings to draft new details and send the House version to the Senate. There's also another unrelated bill to prevent a government shutdown when federal funding expires March 14th.
The Klamath County School District says a student at Chiloquin Student High School posted a threat against another student on social media. On Tuesday night, administrators found out about that post and law enforcement started an investigation the next day. The school district said that the investigation found the rumors to be false and the school was not threatened or mentioned in the post.
The Josephine County Sheriff's Office is announcing Sean Higbee is back in their custody after he was arrested in Cambodia. Higbee's arrest warrant has been out since 2019 for sodomy. After several years, an analyst discovered Higbee had fled to Cambodia. On December 17, 2024, Higbee was taken into custody and lodged in a Cambodian jail until he was extradited. Higbee is now in the Josephine County Adult Jail.
Medford Police Department is launching a new Facebook page for its missing persons cases. The department says that the page will serve as a designated hub for sharing cases and raising awareness. The page will be managed by a designated investigator for the department's missing persons cases. A link to that page can be found on our website, kdrv.com.
The Grants Pass Police Department are saying bike theft around the city has currently been excessive. Officers often find piles of bicycles and parts that are likely stolen but don't have serial numbers. Police are encouraging community members to keep track of the serial numbers of all valuables like bikes, phones, and other personal items. Police say if a serial number isn't associated with a theft, getting your bicycle back to you is nearly impossible.
Today, Eagle Point and Central Point Police are hosting an informational session to help the community recognize scams that are circulating across the community. Lieutenant Josh Abbott will speak on how to avoid being scammed on your phone, computer, or through email. The presentation will be at 5 p.m. at the Ashpool Center at Eagle Point City Hall.
Klamath Union High School is announcing their 6th consecutive Oregon DECA Chapter of the Year award after wrapping up at the state competition. 3 members of the team were in the top 2 of their categories, which means they'll be heading to the international competition in Orlando this April. Several other students were recognized for being in the top 10 of their categories.